Hello. Are you waiting for me this week to know the next part of the story, Cinderella? Okay. But before that, we should find out what was the last part of the story that in the previous class we have taught. What was it? Anybody can tell? Then I will give you a hint. Then in the last part, then Cinderella was in the ball. She forgot everything what happened around her. She forgot the time. Then the time was over. At that time she ran to the coach. But everything changed. There was no coach, no footman and no horses. Only one thing remained unchanged. What was it? Yes, that is the one glass shoe. But how could she go to the home? She reached home. But how did she reach home without the coach, without the horse and without the footman? How did he reach there? Anybody can tell?
Cinderella ran to the home alone.
Cinderella walked and ran home to alone.
Okay, very good, Maliha and Abdul. Very good. Now listen, let's go ahead. Then at that time, Prince was very sad when Cinderella left him. But his servants brought a glass shoe which was left in the ballroom. Now when Prince saw this shoe, he was very sad. And he wanted to find out that lady, pretty lady. Now she ordered messengers or the servants to announce that the prince would visit all the houses in that country. The next day, the messengers announced that news. This news excited the two stepsisters. They were so delighted and they began to dress well. And they dressed very well. And they are sure that they will be the pretty lady in this country because they had the very good feet. And the next day, they were waiting for the prince. And Cinderella was too very happy to see her prince. But she did not have any good clothes. She was very sad. The next day, Prince reached that country. And Prince and the servants visited all the houses in that country. And he told everyone to try on the shoe. And all the ladies in that country tried it on. But they did not fit that shoes. At last, the prince reached Cinderella's house. Stepsisters were eagerly waiting for the prince. Then the elder daughter came first. And she tried on that shoe. And her stepmother was standing nearby. And she tried. But the shoe was very small. But her toe was very big. And she could not get into that shoe because the toe was very big. Then the mother handed over a knife and told her, cut off that toe. Then whenever you are a queen, you will have not to go by foot. Then when you are a queen, you have the coach. Then need not to go by foot. Then the daughter cut off that toe. Now it was bleeding, but she fitted her her feet into the shoe and went to Prince. When the prince saw the blood, he was very angry and he cried, "Not a bride at all." Then she was very sad. That is the second daughter came and she tried it on. The shoe was very small and it fitted well, but the heel was outside. You know what is heel? The back side of the foot. It was outside. Then it did not fit well. It did not fit well. Then mother again cried, cut off the heel. When you are a queen, you will have to go. You will not have to go by foot. There will be a red coach or like that. Then the daughter cut off that heel too, and he went to the prince. She went to the prince. The prince was very angry, and there was blood in your foot. You are not at all a bride. He cried. Then both of them were very sad. Okay, now let's go to the textbook. Take page number 47, The Search. All of you look at the book very carefully. I'll read first, you read after me. The Search. The prince became very sad when Cinderella left him. His servants brought him the glass shoe that Cinderella had left in the room. He wanted to find out a beautiful girl who had danced with him. The next day, he sent messengers to announce that the prince would visit every home to find out the lady. This news excited the lady. The two stepsisters were very glad because they had pretty feet. They put on their best clothes and waited for the prince. But Cinderella didn't have any good clothes. The prince visited every house. He invited girls to try on the shoe Cinderella had left in the ballroom. The girls tried it on, but it did not fit any one of them. Finally, the prince reached Cinderella's house. The eldest stepsister went to her room to try on the shoe, and her mother stood by. But she could not get her big toe into it, for the shoe was too small. Then her mother handed a knife and said, "Cut off the toe off, for when you are a queen, you will never have to go on foot." So the girl cut off her toe, squeezed her foot into the shoe. She concealed her pain and went down to the prince. The prince looked at her shoe and saw the blood flowing under it. "Not the right bride at all," the prince shouted in anger. Then the other sister tried the shoe. She went into her room to do so and got her toes comfortably in, but her heel was too large. Then her mother handed her the knife and saying, "Cut a piece off your heel. When you are the queen, you will never have to go on foot." So the girl cut off a piece of her heel and thrust her foot into the shoe. The prince looked at her feet and became more angry and shouted, "There is blood on your shoe. The shoe is too small, not the right bride at all." Then Cinderella came forward and said, "Let me try it." Her sisters laughed at her. "Clear out of here. How dare you come in these dirty rags, you ugly creature?" they said. But the prince asked her to try the shoe. "I have seen you somewhere, but I cannot remember where," he said. Cinderella put her left foot into the shoe and it fitted her perfectly. Everybody was astonished. She then pulled out the other shoe from her pocket and put it on her right foot. Just then the fairy appeared and touched her with magic wand. In a moment her rags changed into clothes of silk and gold. The prince danced with joy and cried, "This is the right bride. The shoes are fit for her. She is the right bride after all." He said to Cinderella, "You are the most beautiful girl in the country. I will make you as my bride." The prince married and took her to the palace. Cinderella pardoned her sisters and took them to the palace. They lived there happily thereafter. Now let's go to the first page once again, or the page, the search, page number 47. There are some new words. Let's underline these new words. All of you take your pen and look at the first paragraph. Now, the first paragraph, the word is excited. Excited here. Sorry. Excited. Then one more word in the second paragraph, that is squeezed. Squeezed. In the same paragraph, one more is there, concealed. Concealed. And the last paragraph, the word trust. Find out all these the meaning of all these words from the glossary at the end of this chapter, or from the dictionary, or search in the Google. And one more is and then you should write down the answer of that question number 12 here, and 13. Then look at the question number 12. This news excited the ladies. What is the news referred to? A news excited the lady. ഏതോ ഒരു ന്യൂസ് ഈ ലേഡീസിനെ എക്സൈറ്റ് ചെയ്തു. Which was that news? Okay, the answer is there in the first paragraph. Then you may write the answer in this space. And the second question, number 13. Pick out the sentences which show that the stepmother and her daughters were greedy and overambitious. In this page, there are some sentences. That sentences shows that the stepmother and daughters were very greedy and overambitious. What do you mean by greedy? ഭയങ്കര അത്യാഗ്രഹമാണ് അല്ലേ? എന്തോ ഒന്ന് കിട്ടാനുള്ള അതിയായ ആഗ്രഹത്തിനാണ് അത്യാഗ്രഹം എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. ഓവർ ആംബിഷ്യസ് എല്ലാം. അപ്പോൾ എന്തിനു വേണ്ടിയിട്ടാണ്, ഏത് സെൻറ്റൻസ്, വിച്ച് സെൻറ്റൻസ് ടെൽ യു ദാറ്റ് ദ മദർ ആൻഡ് സ്റ്റെപ്പ് സിസ്റ്റേഴ്സ് ആർ മോർ ഗ്രീഡി ആൻഡ് ഓവർ ആംബിഷ്യസ്? ഏത് സെൻറ്റൻസാണ് ഈ ഒരു കാര്യം വ്യക്തമാക്കുന്ന സെൻറ്റൻസ് ഏതാണ്? യു പിക്ക് ഔട്ട് ദാറ്റ് സെൻറ്റൻസ് ഫ്രം ദിസ് പാരഗ്രാഫ് ആൻഡ് റൈറ്റ് ഡൗൺ ഇൻ ദിസ് സ്പേസ്. ഓക്കെ. Okay, now take the next page, page number 48. There are only two new words. Let's underline it. The first one is already underlined there. You can see here there is astonished. Okay, right there. And one more word is there, that is pardoned. Here only two words. Find out the meaning from the glossary or dictionary, and you should write all these new words and their meaning in your notebook. Okay, and one question is also the number 14th question. Cinderella pardoned her sisters and took them to the palace. What quality of Cinderella is revealed here? Now, what happened to the stepsisters and stepmother after the marriage of Cinderella? What did Cinderella do after the marriage? What did Cinderella do with them after the marriage? Come on, tell me. Right. Cinderella took stepmother and stepsisters, all of them, to the palace. എല്ലാവരെയും അവളുടെ കൂടെ കൊണ്ടുപോയി പാലസിലേക്ക്. Now, here, ശരിക്കും ഇത്രയ്ക്കും ill-treat ചെയ്തു അവളെ. They ill-treated him. They were very cruel to Cinderella, even though Cinderella took them to the palace. Now here there is a good quality of Cinderella is revealed here. A very good quality. അവിടെ എന്തോ ഒരു നല്ല ഗുണമാണ് ഇവിടെ പറയുന്നത്. What was that quality of Cinderella is revealed here. Then you may write that answer in this space. Okay.